If you love tiki-taka passing, the 4-3-1-2 is the perfect formation for you. Hello guys, welcome to another video on the FC Analyst channel. Like we know, EA is going to ban the 4-3-2-1 formation from FC25, which has been a very meta formation this year. But if you want a formation that plays very similar to it, the 4-3-1-2 might be just what you are looking for. Now as we can see, the 4-3-1-2 is a very narrow formation, which has a lot of players in the midfield. And like you can see, the players are very close by, which creates a lot of triangles and many passing options. And with the help of your fullbacks, you can really cause some trouble for your opponent. Now how is this different from the 4-3-2-1 formation? Like you can see, instead of an LF, and a striker, we have a cam and two strikers. And many people might prefer this over the three players up front, because that sometimes can be a little one-dimensional. The triangle between your strikers and your cam is very vital in this formation. And when properly used with your midfielders, it is a very fun formation to attack with. But the right custom tactics and instructions are very important with this formation. Because unlike the balanced formation like the 4-4-2 formation, which could work with very basic custom tactics, this formation needs some attention to detail. Now let's move on to the custom tactics. Our defensive style is going to be the usual balanced. Like I have discussed in basically all of my videos, other defensive styles come with their pros and cons, and they add some risk to your game. Like if you use press on heavy touch, if you fail to win the ball back, that will leave some gaps for your opponent to exploit, and any good player will definitely exploit it. And on the other hand, drop back is also a very one-dimensional defensive style. Like we have discussed several times, just sitting back is never a good strategy to defend. You want to keep your opponent in their half. If we allow them to freely make those passes in our half, eventually they will score. So drop back is almost never a good option. Simply keep it at balanced. Our defensive width, we will keep it in the middle, just 48. Usually I suggest you guys 35 to 45 width in most of my custom tactics. But since the 4-3-1-2 is a very narrow formation, 48 width is just perfect. Now the defensive depth, keep it at 69. I'm not saying 69 just to be funny, but like we know, when the depth is above 70, your players will perform auto offside traps, which can be useful. But since we are transitioning into FC25 and there are a lot of strong rumors that auto offside traps might be no longer in the game, so at this stage I would suggest try not to exploit the meta. Try to play the basics and play in a way that would help you transition more easily into FC25, because like I mentioned, the 4-3-2-1 formation is going to be banned in FC25, so we need to make those adjustments before moving into FC25. Our offensive build-up is going to be balanced, nothing fancy here. Our chance creation will be direct passing. Now like I mentioned before, this formation is a very tiki-taka focused formation, so you guys might ask, why not possession? Well, the goal with possession is that you want to keep the ball and keep it away from your opponent, which can be sometimes a good strategy, but our focus is to score as many goals as possible. So direct passing is similar to tiki-taka, but in an attacking way. You will be making those quick 1-2 passes, but towards your opponent's box. So direct passing is the way to go. Our offensive width, we will keep it narrow and keep it at 32. This will help us make the most of this formation. Like I've mentioned several times, the attack is the most dangerous from the middle. If you're able to take control of the middle, you have the upper hand over your opponent. And remember, any shots taken from the middle are always more dangerous than ones taken from the wing. And the options to attack from the middle are also vast. And players in the box, we will keep it high, we will keep it 6. We want to be in the face of our opponent. Now 6 players in the box does not mean literally 6 players in the opponent's box, but what it does mean is that we will have several passing options in the opponent's box, which is a good thing when you're trying to score some goals. Our corners will be 1 and free kick will also be at 1. Now moving on to the instructions. Now remember what I said, the instructions are very important for this formation, because if not done right, it can definitely backfire. It is not a 4-4-2 formation which is very balanced, very basic. The instructions definitely need some attention to detail, so do pay attention. Now our cam is going to be everything default, but defensive support will be come back on defense. Now in the case of our strikers, we want one of the strikers to come back on defense, and everything else will stay at default. Now 2 of our CMs will be stay back while attacking, as well as cover center. Same instructions for another one. And 1 of our CMs will be everything at default. This will allow us to attack in a 4-3-1-2, but we will be defending like we are playing in a 4-4-2 formation. Our right back will be stay back while attacking, and everything else will stay at default. While a left back will be balanced and run type will be overlap, we want him to make those overlapping runs from the outside. Now that's all for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I mentioned, the 4-3-2-1 will no longer be in FC25. So it is important for us to adapt and play according to the changes that will be made in FC25. Thank you so much for watching.